it doesn't really matter. Okay.
Alright, my film is called The Execution. It's an adaptation from a newspaper, The Guardian. I thought it was good because it had like an interesting storyline to it. There was a woman who was accused of murdering her husband. It sort of changed the story. So she didn't murder just in the film, she's not going to be murdering her husband, but she's going to murder someone else. Well, she's going to be accused of murdering someone. Yeah. Storyboard. I think I chose these pictures on here because they sort of stand out. Don't look very thin. That's a prison cell talking to the other guy, Edward, who's like the main character in the film, not her, because he's going to be doing the trial. That's the courtroom, and that's the first part when he's been told the case he's going to be doing, and it's just a part of that.
Okay, hang on a second, sorry, before you move on, why did you, can we go back to that slide, sorry. So, why did you choose these particular panels from your storyboard? What do they tell us about your film that you particularly wanted to show us?
Sure, shows you the main part. This is like showing the prisoner. She's telling her story and her point of the story. Because the story is about the murder, and she's saying she hasn't done one of the murders. She's going to be going on death. And because she murdered 2 people. This one, because that's where everything's happening, is the courtroom. It's not like it's because it's on above. And that, I don't know why, it's just a driving. So.
Sorry, can you just explain what happens in the top right one?
Yeah, they're talking to each other. About the case, because they both assigned the case. So they're going to this scene, and they're going to be talking about what they think.
Who's they?
Edward, who's in charge of the case, who's on the woman's side, who's appealing for her not to.
So what, her defence lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is before that, that's in the law firm, he's been told the case by his boss when he's been assigned this case.
Okay.
The budget for this film is around 30 million. It's because I'm comparing it to a film called The Life of David Gale. Sort of similar storyline but different. The budget for that film was 38 million. And I think the box office was 39 million.
Sorry, what was 39 million?
The box office for The Life of David Gale.
So it only made $1 million?
But I think it made, after that but on the first few days as a box office it made 39 million. So, but I think it was good after that. There was so many views and the audience, I think it's 15 and over. This is because sort of it's about death and has some scenes of distress for little kids. So I think 15 is a good age. It might contain like strong languages and violence because of the flashbacks. There's a lot of flashbacks in this film about her life and what she did. That's why I think it's 15. The characters, I think for Edward, Ben Affleck would be good. And his best friend, as Forrest, they both can play like serious roles and they look like the person to play this role. So yeah, I haven't thought someone to play the woman. She doesn't have much of a role. In the flashback she does. But I don't know who would play her, so I haven't thought of that.
I'm a bit surprised that you haven't thought of who plays the woman And you say that she doesn't have an
I
important
mean, she
role.
does it, but most of the story you're going to be following him because he's doing the case and it's all about the case. But then as the flashbacks, it's about the woman, so she does have a role, so I don't know who's better.
Okay, before you move on again, what's the role of the best friend? I think actually Ben Affleck is a good choice, I agree. He kind of fits the idea of who you would have for this role. But what exactly, why does he need to have the best friend?
And
How is that linking to?
in film they'll probably like do it together because they both work in the firm, so it's helping them out on the case. So they go together, even in the car, they're also supposed to be.
Right, so those were the two guys in the car
Yeah.
talking about the case. So they have both been assigned to the case,
Yeah.
or is Forrest Whitaker's character just helping out because he's a good mate?
Yeah.
Which one?
Both, sort of, because
So at the law firm that they work at,
yeah.
have they both been assigned to this job?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Constraints. Be getting information about Kelly, who's the woman, and information about her life. Other than that, because the film is sort of changed the film, so there's not like too much constraints, but there's still some. It's still based about her life. So yeah.
But because it's just really inspired
Yeah.
by the newspaper article, you don't,
So I'm using her.
and
name.
you wouldn't, but why? Why do you need to use her real name?
I don't know.
Exactly. So you can just use that as an inspiration, can't you?
Yeah.
And just give her a completely different name, make up the whole story, because a lot of it you already have invented, haven't you?
Yeah.
So therefore, why not get rid of all of that, all of the references to the actual story, and therefore you don't have to worry about Kelly Gisendana, whatever her name is, and you can just run with it. Wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And this is just a trailer.
Could you tell us a bit more about the life of David Gale? Because I'm not familiar with it.
It's to do with a case as well. He's been sentenced to death for the murder of a woman, his best friend's woman. By the end of the film, it's not like he didn't murder her, but he's sentenced to death and everything just goes wrong. During the film, you see like flashbacks of what happened and how it happened. And there's the woman who's looking through the case, finds out that at first she thinks that he's lying because she's just a news reporter and he wants to tell her the story. She then finds out that it's not him that murdered the woman that she actually murdered. She actually just committed suicide, but she only finds out after he's been killed.
Okay, is our main character guilty of anything?
One murder, but not both.
Right, okay. What is, because I'm looking at your act summary here, and that doesn't actually tell me how it ends
Or
for the whole film. So you're saying 2 weeks of court hearing ends here trying to prove against the decision of execution.
yeah, she's not going to be executed, she's still going to be sent to prison.
Right,
She still
okay.
has committed murder, but not two murders. Does that make sense?
Okay. Right, thank you.
I don't know if that will work.
I'm sorry, is that it or?
It's a trailer. For
Okay.
it's working.
Or hang on, okay, it might have just taken a while. Okay, don't worry about the trailer, that's okay, but just tell us, is there anything else?
No.
Okay. In that case, there are a few things that I would like you to think about. I think that it could be a success because there have been films that are very similar that have been successful, but I am not convinced at the moment with your comparison. Because if the film is only going to make $1 million, I don't think it's worth me investing in it. So you need to find better examples that will convince me that it can be a success. Okay? Maybe you need to look more into the life of David Gale and looking at the actual figures. So is that all you got from IMDb?
Yeah.
The $39 million? Right. So in that case, you need to go and find other films that are similar that have been successful. Now, you didn't tell us anything about where you plan to film this. So, because obviously then that will have implications as to the budget as well. So,
part of it, because she's supposed to live like, not in the city, but sort of outside. It's like a, not a farm area, but it's not like city. But the law firm is in city, big city. So it's supposed to be like both. It's going to be in the city, but also out.
What city?
New York or something.
Right. So you plan to film in New York City?
It'll probably be expensive, so from somewhere else, like Canada,
Right.
because it looks, well, it's a big city.
Okay. Have you considered maybe not even leaving the shores and filming somewhere in the UK?
Yeah, that does. I don't know where would look similar.
Right. Glasgow, for example, has often been used for New York City. Very, very often, companies do actually film in UK. Remember, you can use sound studios, so it doesn't have to be all on location. And the courtroom scenes, they could be filmed anywhere on a sound stage. So I think that's something that you need to put a little bit more thought into. And I would like to see your treatment, because at the moment I'm just seeing the summaries and that's just not enough really for me to go by. And I think you really do need to think about who your main actress is, because I know you say that it's not a main role, but it's all about her story. So we do need to know. So you've chosen, as I said, you've chosen well with Ben Affleck and Forest Whitaker. Although I want to know how this double act is going to play. Now, you said that your audience is 15 and above. But can you tell me anything more about the audience? What type of audience do you think this would attract?
I think it would attract, I don't know, people who think the legal system might be sort of wrong. I mean, people watch films where somebody's been wrongly, because I think many people don't like see that. So I think 15 and over, for many people, if somebody being accused of something they haven't done, I think it would attract many people.
Okay, now that's another thing that I would like you to think about a bit more. Like, what in it appeals to people? Fair enough, Ben Affleck will already bring in some audience, because he's got a big fan base. But then you need to think about, okay, so who's the woman then? Do we have any romantic interest going on anyway? Does Ben Affleck's character have a long-suffering girlfriend, for example, who gets left to the side because he's just too busy working and doesn't have time for her? Or, is Is there no romance in there whatsoever? I'm just thinking about your audience again, you know, how could we pull in the women?
I think it's family, but I don't think about probably a sick mother. But
He has a sick mother.
yeah,
Okay. And how are you going to build that into the story?
she gets sick and he has to sort of like decide between both the case and his mum.
Okay, that's quite a nice touch, you know, kind of this struggling with his consciousness maybe, you know, as to how much time to devote.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we've got kind of human interest, touchy thing about the family. Okay, now, I do want you to flesh it out more, think about the roles, think about the comparisons, you know, to really convince me that I want to invest money so that I can actually get money back as well.
Yeah.
And thinking about where exactly it's going to be filmed. So those are the main things that I need you to think about. Okay, thank you very much. Why all of that is done